Okay, now I've zoomed all the way out on my artwork here. I just hit Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac. And when you zoom all the way out on your artwork, you quickly realize that it's going to take a little bit of time to finish painting our cartoon robot here, especially if you want to do a really good job. So we have to speed things up here a little bit. What I want to show you is how to work with selections when you're painting in your cartoons and your artwork. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom way in on the top portion of this guy's head. The top area just above his eye patch is what we're after. And I want to switch to my polygonal lasso tool. So I'll hit the L key on my keyboard once and then Shift L. And then over in my toolbox, I can see that I do indeed have my polygonal lasso tool selected. And then all I'm going to do is create a selection going around this eye patch, the top half of the eye patch anyway. And I'll continue that path all the way across here. Might take me a little moment here to get this. All the way around and then up around his head. Notice as I'm creating my selection that I'm making sure that that path sits right in the center, or at least as close as I can get anyway, with a certain degree of accuracy, right on that black line. That's because I want to make sure that my selection sits right in the middle of that black line. So you can be as accurate or as inaccurate as you want as you're creating your selection here. Bring them all the way across here. And then to finish them off, either single click on your starting point or just double click, and that'll give you your marching ants. Okay, great, good stuff. Now, down in the bottom area of my toolbox, I still have that green set for my background color, and I have the light gray set for my foreground color. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Alt-Delete here on the Windows side, or Option-Delete on the Mac, and that will fill your selection with the foreground color. If you try hitting Control-Delete or Command-Delete on the Mac, that will fill your selection with the background color. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to go back to Alt-Delete here on the Windows side or Option-Delete on the Mac because it's that light gray that I want to fill this selection with. You can use any selection tool you want. I'm going to hit Shift-L on my keyboard 2 more times. That'll bring me back to the freehand selection tool. Maybe I'll try freehanding a selection all the way up his antenna here. And I'm not doing a very good job of it. That's okay. I've got my eraser in my back pocket. Something like this. Looking not so good, but you know what we can do as well, though? Look at these nasty little jaggies I did here. I'm going to use my Alt and Shift keys, and that should help me out here. So I'll hold down Shift. Remember that Shift adds to a selection, so I could do something like this. Encompass that entire area there. I could hold down Alt or Option on the Mac to cut away from a selection. These techniques really come in handy for something like this. There, something like that. All right. And then I'll hit Alt-Delete or Option-Delete one more time to fill his antenna now with a selection. So there you go. There's a fast way to paint inside Photoshop. I'll deselect my marching ants, and I'm just going to grab my zoom tool, and I'll click on Fill Screen so we can see our whole robot there. Not too bad, but still lots and lots of work to do here. Now, once you finish off your robot, he may look something like this. Here's my completed robot. As a matter of fact, I'll zoom in on him just a little bit so you can take a closer look at this guy. What I've wound up doing is I used a lot of opacity. I used some different blending modes here to get the different effects in his eyes. The different brush effects here inside his word bubble. I decided not to go with the gradient. The different shading inside the buttons and across his chest and so on. As a matter of fact, you can create multiple layers inside the layers palette if you wanted to isolate your different colors. And of course, I got rid of that fun layer that we had there as well. I trashed that, and I also cropped him down as well. So I hope you had lots of fun painting with me inside Photoshop. You saw all kinds of cool tools, the paintbrush and the eraser and the pencil tool, and also the swatches panel, creating your own custom colors using the color panel and the color picker. And also you saw how to create your own custom brushes. Have loads of fun with that splatter file that I gave you, by the way, and definitely experiment with creating your own.